Pop some champagne again because there will be no undefeated season this year. The Patriots handed the Bills their first loss of the season with a late game field goal. And then, meanwhile, the Broncos came back from a 14-point fourth quarter deficit to hand the Eagles their first loss of the season. The Eagles offense struggled yet again with Devontae Smith saying their passing game needs to get on the same page. Peter Strager here with us now from Jacksonville ahead of tonight's Monday Night Football matchup. And Peter, I'll start with you. Which loss was more concerning? Was it the Bills or the Eagles? All right, Stephen A., we'll start with you. Peter's having a little bit of trouble with his camera. Let's start with you.
Okay. In terms of what, I think that the more concerning loss for me was the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. Look at them. Look at how they've been playing. Both sides of the ball. I mean, listen, when you look at Denver, you can't get them off the field for 12 minutes, for nearly 12 minutes. They come back from a double-digit deficit, outscore you 18-0 in the fourth quarter. Where's the defense? Where's the offense? On the offensive side of the ball, you're running the football just twice in the entire second half. You're throwing the football 38 times. You're going up against your supposed identity. Why? Because you're hearing noise from folks about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Nick Sirianni has to make up his mind. Are you the boss or not? You know, and conduct yourself accordingly in terms of doing what you can to prioritize winning football games instead of appeasing people. I'm not saying that A.J. Brown shouldn't get the ball because I know that he should. Devontae Smith can ball as well. I want them to get the ball. I think the Eagles' primary identity should be throwing them the football, to be quite honest with you, because I think they've got that kind of talent in their passing game, even though Saquon can be absolutely electrifying. But we also got to recognize the fact that Saquon Barkley was somebody that, listen, on their best day, you ain't gonna see cats running for over 2,000 yards every season. There are certain things that are outliers. They stand out, and it's an anomaly and it's a deviation from the norm. And last season, as great as Saquon Barkley last season was a deviation from the norm. Usually, you look at him, you'll say, 13 to 1,500 yard rush or whatever. But he's a spectacular kid, and he did his thing last year. This year, people are going to key on him more, which should free up A.J. Brown, Agata, the Devontae Smith, and others. You got to take advantage of that if, indeed, Jalen Hurts can throw that football, which we believe he can. And so the fact that the Eagles lost this game is one thing, but the fact that they shed the identity, they don't seem to know who they are, they don't seem to be married to a certain culture, a certain way of winning football games. I think that's something that could be incredibly alarming, and we should pay attention to that.
Well, when you take in the fact of how they've been winning their football games, they've had a lot of help from opposing teams. Well, this particular week, like I said earlier, the Broncos won the game that they typically win. There are three issues that come to mind. Number one, Kevin Patullo. What's your flow, bro? Like, what are we doing? We've been having issues, since the beginning of the season. It's like, is he the right guy for the job? Okay, number two, the offensive line. Hey, it's not just giving up 6 sacks is something that is heavily alarming, but also why can we not run the football when we need to, when we want to, and when we have to, right? Saquon Barkley is the most talented running back, if not one, top two. You dig what I'm saying? He's one of them type of guys that is a every down back. We cannot get him going. And that's a testament to the offensive line. And my last thing is talent utilization. Like, how do we use all the talent in the right way? Of course, you only got one football. You have 5 studs at least on the one side of the football. So being able to keep everybody happy is going to be one thing. But on the other side, it's like, hey, Coach Kev, like, how are you planning to make sure whose game is it going to be today? Because it's not like we have an identity of knowing how your plan of attack is. It's like you're all over the place.
Stephen A., who are you more confident in terms of getting to the postseason, getting deep in the postseason? Is it this Bills team or is it the Eagles?
I think it's the Bills from a de facto perspective. When you look at the AFC, the Chargers doesn't appear to be what we thought they would be. Denver is good, but how good are they? Baltimore clearly doesn't appear to be what we thought they would be. Same could be said for the Steelers. New England's on a come up. Miami and the Jets are trash. I mean, what is there to look at? When you look out, obviously Indianapolis is a surprise. They're definitely a surprise. Jacksonville is still relevant. The Kansas City Chiefs have given us every indication they're not going anywhere, so I get that part. But the bottom line is that if we had to bet our money at this particular moment in time, Cam, we'd say Kansas City, Buffalo. That's what we would say. That's what we'd bet our money on. In the NFC, you don't know. It could be Detroit. It could be Green Bay. It could be Tampa Bay. It could be the Rams. It could be Seattle. It could be a few teams. It could be the Commanders after what we saw them do to the Chargers yesterday. The NFC is wide open, more so than the AFC in my estimation.
All right, we got Peter Schrager for real this time. Peter, let's go back to the original question. More concerning loss, the Eagles or the Bills?
I thought Stephen A. just laid it out really well. I do look at Buffalo, though, and I wonder if they're a little bit nervous about what they just witnessed last night in their building. That was a national coming out party for Drake May. And for the last 5 years, the Buffalo Bills have had a cakewalk in that division. And I know you could say, well, the Dolphins went to the playoffs a couple of times. The Bills dominated the Dolphins in the big games when it mattered. Whether it be a playoff game when Skylar Thompson came into their building, or it was a late season game with the playoff #1 seed on the line. I look at what Drake May did, 6 for 6, fourth quarter, 13 of 14 in the second half. And now that's the micro. Okay, the Patriots are here. Like, they're going to be a competitor this season. Then you think of the macro. And wait a second, there was a window with the last 5 years where we dominated the Jets, we dominated the Dolphins, and we dominated the Patriots. And we have no Super Bowl appearances to show for it. The window's not closed for Buffalo by any means. But Amina, Cam, Stephen A., I have to wonder if they walk out of that building and say, you know what? Yeah, we lost last night, but what beast did we just see awaken in the AFC East? And wait a second, did we not take advantage of a half decade of feudal division opponents?
Ooh, Cam, what does that window look like?
Well, I think hold on,
Cam.
Hold on, Cam. Peter, I appreciate you, man. And from that angle, it's not an insult. It's a compliment because I love him. But from that angle, you look like the Joker, bro. You look like the Joker from Batman.
Let's
and
go.
I want you to know that. Cheeks buffing out like that. All right. But here's the deal. Shout out to the late great Heath Ledger. But let me say this to you, man. I think we got to pump the brakes. I mean, what did you say about the Patriots? Some monster coming up? I mean,
did we watch the birth? The beast awoken.
I don't know. But I think it's going a little bit too far. Patriots are good. They're on the come up. Vrabel can coach. Stephon Diggs can play when healthy. Drake May is showing us a little something. I got that part. Ramondre Stevenson on boards. I got it. But, they could be, you could be awakening a monster. Let's pump the brakes on that one. Let's calm down, okay? I ain't going to go that far on the Patriots. Not that far.
Cam, does Peter need to pump the brakes?
I'm going to take a different angle.
Okay.
What a difference a year makes. Think about this. This time last year, we were calling